Have you seen Star Wars?
Guys, what a difference a day makes when it comes to these stories and what we can expect for the future of the Star Wars franchise in terms of the shows and the announcements that we've had. Out of all the shows, series, and movies and the news that we've had over the past month, the one that caught my attention the most was The Acolyte. And me and my friend the Goldman, who he's also part of the team of Chatooine, a podcast that we do, we both said this is our most excited series. Out of all the announcements, this is the one we are most excited for, over Obi-Wan, over Ahsoka, and the reason for that is because of the way they describe it. It says that The Acolyte is a mystery thriller set in a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. Now, we have not even begun to explore the High Republic in terms of books and comic books, but we're starting that in 2021. And then we also know that the High Republic era is 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. Now, what was interesting about this is that a lot of people expected the Acolyte to be a little closer to the Phantom Menace since it is the end days of the High Republic. And now we have confirmation that the final days, the end of the High Republic, is 50 years before the Phantom Menace. 50 years, that is not a lot of time in the realm of Star Wars. And so, the question for me is, will the Acolyte feature a live-action Darth Plagueis? Are we going to see the Sith set in motion the events of the prequel trilogy, where Palpatine not only rises to power, he undermines the Jedi Order with the clones, with the Separatists, this massive scheme that he executed, but did start with Darth Plagueis, at least if we're going off the book of the Plagueis novel. And I've been asking for stories about Darth Plagueis for a very long time, at least when it comes to the new canon, whether it be a new book, whether it be a live-action series, whether it be a movie, and it seems like we're finally getting a hint of that. And the timeline works perfectly. Because in The Phantom Menace, I think if we're going off the chronological timeline, Palpatine's 50. Palpatine is 50 years old in The Phantom Menace. I think in Revenge of the Sith, he is like 65 or 66 years old. And so it really makes a lot of sense that Darth Plagueis would be the Sith Lord that we feature in this. Whether it be a young Darth Plagueis, whether the Acolyte is Darth Plagueis himself. I mean, could you imagine that? Oh my god, could you imagine if they come out and say, oh yeah, by the way, the Acolyte is actually Darth Plagueis? And that would kind of throw a wrench into the reports that the Leslie Headland series, which is this show, The Acolyte, is female-centric. But even if it is female-centric, does that mean that the Acolyte is a young Sith Lord girl? I mean, the Acolyte is an actual rank that the Sith have. Is this a young student trying to learn the ways of the Force from Darth Plagueis himself? Maybe she's a kind of partner in training with Darth Plagueis, and they're both trying to work for their master, possibly Darth Tenebrous, because if we're going off of canon, the timeline goes, Darth Tenebrous was the master to Darth Plagueis killed Tenebrous, and then he recruited Sidious, and then Sidious killed Darth Plagueis, and we know the rest of the history. But the point I'm trying to make here is, we are now setting in motion the Sith side of the story, and I love that. I have wanted to learn more about the Sith that was not just Darth Sidious, that was not Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Count Dooku. I wanted to learn more about other Sith from a different era in Star Wars, and we're finally doing that. Even the image they have of the Acolyte, it looks like a lightsaber blade has cut through the words. It's got the little kind of scarred outline on the sides of it, and it looks exactly like you would expect for a show focused on the Sith. So this seems like the most interesting Star Wars series in my opinion. It says that it's a mystery thriller. I mean, I don't even think that's really been done in Star Wars yet. But the idea of emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic, to me, that says that the Jedi are losing their powers and the dark side is finally taking over. And who else would do that but Darth Plagueis himself? Darth Plagueis is someone who uses the midichlorians to change things up, and I think this is the great time to set him up in the Star Wars universe, and mainly in live action. I mean, seeing him in live action would be amazing. Who would play him? Who would voice him? What is this series going to be about? I will be very disappointed, and I mean very disappointed, if this show does not explore more about the Sith Order, the origins of the Sith, the history to them, and Darth Plagueis himself. Who else are you going to explore during this timeline? Are you going to tell me that there is a new Sith, and then 20, 30 years later, then Darth Plagueis becomes the like most powerful Sith Lord in the galaxy, and then he recruits, Darth Sidious and Palpatine. I really think this series is going to focus on Darth Plagueis in some way. He may not be the main character, but he's going to be a character in this, and I am very excited about that. Remember, in Revenge of the Sith, Darth Sidious says, "Once more the Sith shall rule the galaxy." That means in canon, there is a timeline where the Sith ruled the galaxy, and I want to see that. I want to see the Sith in power. This show will not focus on that. This show will not even take place in that timeline, but it does mean it can talk about it. It does mean it can give us some history to that on what it was like when the Sith ruled the galaxy. There's a lot of options that Lucasfilm and Star Wars have when it comes to storytelling, and they're finally capitalizing on it. If they would have done this 8 years ago, I think things would be a lot different in the Star Wars universe and the fandom and just the community in general. But they're finally doing everything right, and I think a great step in the right direction, and they've made leaps into the right direction now, would be to focus on Darth Plagueis in some way or another. But tell me your thoughts below. Do you think, with the Acolyte ending the High Republic era, which is now 50 years before the events of the Phantom Menace, that we will see Darth Plagueis in some shape or form in this new series, The Acolyte? Are you interested in this series? Does it rank in your top 3 most interesting announced shows and the one you're most excited for? It's my number 1. It is my number 1 by far. But tell me your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe because it does about the channel. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.